We have a very up program tonight. Really, up, 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 up. I think the politics of the season have really gotten into my brain. I'm starting to act like Pell a little bit. Hi, good evening. Dan York, State of Mind. Up with People is a show that is appearing in Cumberland on Friday night. And we have two of the cast members of this high-energy, positive message youth presentation from around the globe. So stay with us. Yeah, it's a break from the everyday. No, listen, I don't think it's a grind to be talking about the people who make, the wheels turn in democracy and those who are competing to be those people, meaning candidates. But every once in a while you can take a little bit of a break. Besides, Jess likes these guys. So there you go. Alrighty, having said that and getting ready for that in segments 2 and 3 of the broadcast, and of course your state of mind, where you can touch base with us at the end. Let's go to the rundown, and Steve will bring us there with me taking a peek here. Yeah, there were two major issues in last night's Channel 12 Democratic debate, jobs and taxes, and we hardly got answers on either one of them. The mayoral race in Providence is really all about Buddy Cianci, even for the people who aren't Buddy Cianci. I cannot believe the Ed Commissioner just fell down on this one, and she is now not only bought into the idea that we got to push a deadline back, now it's way back, and we'll talk about that for just a second. And yes, now he's going to sit in front of the lawyers, and he will have to answer some questions, and we are that, as evidenced by the latest AAA poll. We'll show you that in a second. All right, let's dig in and do a deeper dive for the amount of time that we have here into the debate, which was really well produced. And it's not because I'm on the payroll. If I thought it was not that good, I'd tell you. Because nobody holds my strings. I thought it was a really well done debate last night. You can't do much about the players, right? The candidates are the candidates. And I have to tell you, Tim and Ted really, really did a nice job. Ed Fitzpatrick does a nice job too, but he's not really in the mix. Ted set a new world record for trying to ask the same question. We have a 1.5-minute excerpt from a 6-minute exercise trying to get some number out of these candidates who say they're jobs people. I mean, Gina says she's the jobs governor. Watch Ted try. Go, Ted, go.
I looked up the most recent Rhode Island employment report, and it says the state currently has 43,000 residents who are unemployed. Mr. Pell, if your jobs plan is enacted in full, roughly how many Rhode Islanders do you expect would be unemployed 1 year after it gets enacted?
Well, I'm not running for governor to make promises that one cannot keep. I don't think it's about setting a specific number of jobs. It's about setting a real plan for growth in this state.
How many people does your campaign estimate will be put to work if your jobs plan is enacted, and over what time frame?
Well, we are going to put a lot of people to work, but I don't believe in making promises and saying that we're going to wave a magic wand and somehow everything's going to change on the very first day. Numbers.
Well, we're looking for the number of people, but I'll move on. Ms. Raimondo, the same question to you. Currently 43,000 Rhode Islanders officially unemployed. If your jobs plan is enacted in full, roughly how many Rhode Islanders do you project would be unemployed a year after that?
Thank you, Ted. As I've said many times, Rhode Island's in a jobs crisis, and we need a bold leader with a bold plan. And that is what my plan is designed to do. My jobs plan is designed to create tens of thousands of jobs over the next 10 years.
Mr. Tveres, same question to you. 43,000 unemployed. Roughly how many people do you project a year after your jobs plan is enacted would be given jobs?
Thank you for the question, Ted. Look, Ted, one of the things is this. As long as anyone's looking for a job, you have work to do. We need to get people back to work, and we cannot stop until everyone who wants a job can have a job.
Oh, we're back? Oh, I'm sorry. Was that awful? One simple question. A year in, how many jobs? There's no business person alive who doesn't have to put out some projection on some kind of schedule or pro forma about what money in, money out, investment in, produce out, production out, will come of their efforts. But these guys think they can just kind of get away with, and by the way, Angel, what are you going to do? Have jobs here, like hot dogs, get your jobs here. I mean, what is going on here with this philosophy that anyone who wants one can have one? Do we have an American work ethic anymore? Gina couldn't nail down a jobs number. Clay Pell spit over himself, and Angel's off in Netherlands on this whole thing. We deserve more. Taxes, same thing. The only answers we got were, at least from Clay Pell, were more or less projected he would jack income tax rates to the roof for people who make any kind of dough. Very, very disappointing. Very, very crucial issues, and absolutely no answers. Now, when it comes to the Providence mayoral race, because of our preemption last night, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but this is kind of funny. Here's the WPRI.com website headline. Michael Solomon, who's the city council president, claims he's the only candidate who can beat Buddy Cianci. And at first glance, you might think, oh, that's a competitive note. Here's a Dan McGowan tweet from WPRI.com, and he took a picture of the release put out by Solomon on press conference day, which is now 2 days ago. He didn't even spell Dan Harrop's name right, the Republican with 6%. But what he's saying is that I got 36 and Cianci's got 35. And the reason I'm better than Elorza, the guy who just got all of Brett Smiley's support, as Smiley left the race, is because Cianci leads Elorza by 7. By the way, the thinking there is absolutely faulty. But what's hilarious is that they're running against Buddy Cianci in a primary where Buddy Cianci isn't even on the ballot.
We thought this was important to let the public know and the people of the city of Providence know that I'm the only candidate that could beat Buddy Cianci.
They think they're the only ones who can beat Buddy Cianci and that you have the worst shot.
Have they showed you any numbers?
You know, you need vision when you're running for a high office, and Mayor of Providence is high office. You need to talk about what you want to do with the city. You got to tackle the problems, and you got to create what's going to be your signature on the city. Touting that you're the best guy to beat Buddy Cianci, I get the logic. Elorza and Smiley last week were saying, well, we're merging because Solomon can't beat Cianci, and Cianci is the devil incarnate. I get what's going on here, but they've all fallen into a trap, and Mike Solomon has taken the bait here, talking about who can beat Buddy Cianci. Do you play golf? Does anybody here play golf? Here's the thing, you'd know this if you play golf. If you start thinking about the hazard, and in this case, the analogy, Cianci's the hazard. If you start thinking about the hazard on the right-hand side, like there's water on the right, and it doesn't matter how you say it, I'm not going to hit the water on the right, or, oh boy, there's water on the right, I better not go there. Inevitably, you put in your brain that the ball is going to go into the water on the right. Well, Cianci is like the hazard here. And all they do is talk about Cianci. What they need to do is talk about how the fairway's wide open on the left, and that's the vision for the city. Buddy Cianci must be laughing. First of all, he's done nothing, and he's tied with these guys. Wait till he gets going. God, they're not being very smart about this. Next item. Push it way back. Speaking about being smart, here's the headline. It caught you, didn't it? No one was ready for the testing. Oh, now we admit that no one was ready for the testing. You know what? You're never ready for the testing. As long as there are people who will argue about keeping the status quo, there will always be people who say they weren't ready for the testing. Now, Deb Gist, the Ed Commissioner, is more or less bought into the idea that not only was she usurped by the General Assembly at the end of the session and had the, literally the authority that she and the board had ripped right out from them with legislation that pushed back mandatory testing to be able to get out of high school back to 2017. She doubled down and pushed it back to 2020 with her latest proposal.
It's very important for everyone in Rhode Island to know that this recommendation is not changing our sense of urgency around making sure that every single student is prepared when they leave our high schools. And that includes the class of 2015 and every class up until the class of 2020 and beyond. So we are not backing away from that commitment. This is just a clarification on how, as a state, we're going to make sure that our transition into this new set of requirements is done well.
Come on, Commissioner. I think I know her pretty well. Her fingers and toes are crossed right there. She doesn't need. Listen, she's had to play the game. I think she's the right commissioner for this state. But guess what? The Democratic candidates last night more or less pegged her as dead commissioner walking.
If you become governor, would you consider keeping Education Commissioner Deborah Gist, or would you move on?
Well, I will consider a lot of people, but I think that it's time that we brought a new direction to the education of this state.
Mr. Tavares consider or straight up move on?
I would consider.
Okay, Ms. Raimondo?
Consider, but obviously no decisions have been made.
Don't you want to know, listen, Clay Pell, at least more or less, running the NEA program here, she's done. He gets elected, she's done. The other two, who talk about leadership, can't, water get off the pot on Deb Gist. She'll be in Washington doing something at double the salary within a year. 2020, the deadline, she won't be around to worry whether or not we made it or not. And what else do we got here? Well, real quick, Link Chafee's got a depot tomorrow. Yeah, there's a headline I think we have here that says, yep, WPRA headline. Yeah, he's going in for discussion with the lawyers. So he and the state have sued all the culprits in 38 studios, and now he'll have to answer some questions from the defense lawyers. He likes to tell the story about how, oh my gosh, lions and tigers and bears, how did we get into this mess?
There was so much groupthink. I remember going to Lori Waite at the Chamber of Commerce when I was against the proposal, saying, Lori, I'd like to have the Chamber come out against this. And she said, my board's in favor of it. And my jaw just dropped. What's going on in this state? We're going to give a retired baseball player $75 million?
At some juncture, the depositions will be made public, hopefully, and we'll see Link Chafee have to dancing with very talented lawyers who will pin him down on what is true. Yeah, he didn't like 38 studios when he ran. When he became governor, he dropped the ball on managing it, I think, to prove that he was right when he was running for office. He's as much to blame as anybody else, and hopefully the lawyers drive him to that answer. And finally, I don't know if you've seen this, but you got to slow down and be more safe out there. AAA put out its list of top 10, Allstate, not AAA. Thank you, Jess, screaming from the corner. Good save. I'm going to get that camera in there so you can see her. Anyway, yeah, top 10 states for all states records on safe driving. Do you see us? No. Here's the worst. There we are at the bottom with another bunch of New England states. See, I don't see the difference because if you look, Springfield, Mass. is right there with Providence. And that's where I was last. I'm pretty conditioned with the idea that you guys don't know where you're going or how you're getting there. So be careful out there. We got a bad reputation for a lot of things, but we can at least improve our driving. That's on us. Up with People, Friday night in Cumberland. You'll meet some cast members next. All right, so a cool thing happening in Cumberland on Friday night, and Jess says you got to meet these people. They're very up. They're very up with people, and they're very up as well. Here's a little preview of what you might see.
We
are world travelers.
We are
global citizens. We are making
change
around the world.
We are passionate.
We are the voice
of a new
generation.
We are Up with People.
So Veronica comes. Hi, I'm Veronica from Sweden.
Yes, hello there.
Do you have no last name?
Yes, Westermark.
I know, but I'm glad. You know what? Veronica from Sweden is easier.
Yes,
welcome.
That's true.
And Ethan is brand new to the whole deal, right?
Yes.
But you're from
Massachusetts. Yeah.
You're a local guy. Welcome to the broadcast. What is this all about? Is it Up with People is a long-standing thing, right?
Yes, we're actually next year we're celebrating our 50th anniversary.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, we've been going on
but
since
you're 50.
That's
that
for
is
sure. True. Thank you for noticing that.
Yes. So tell me about the history of the program.
Yes, we started in 1965, became a non-profit in 1968. So since then, the mission of Up with People has been to bring the world together through service and music. So how that works is that we have a group of young individuals between the ages of 17 to 29 years old that travels together for 6 months all over the world. And we do volunteer work everywhere we go. We stay in local host families to experience the culture. And we also perform a big 2-hour show with music and dances from all over the world, with medleys and with original Up with People music as well.
How did you end up in Cumberland?
Oh, that was the stop of the tour. We are going this semester. We're going to the New England area, so this is a great stop. Up with People actually have a lot of history in this area of the world. We came here a lot before, so it's exciting to come back. And then we're going to head to Mexico. We're going to go to Cuba for 2 weeks, and then we're also going to go to various countries in Europe, like Belgium, Switzerland, Germany, and Denmark.
you're a spokesperson and a half for this. You just got hooked into this thing, right?
Yep, this is my 6th week.
How did that happen?
I graduated from Providence College in May, and I was looking for things I could do after college. I knew I wanted to go to graduate school eventually, but I didn't want to jump right into it. And I found Up With People online, and I called the admissions person in Colorado, and I had a great conversation with them, so I applied right then and there.
All right, cool. So what do you want to do when you grow up?
I have no idea, so this is a great choice for me. You get to travel and see different things, and then hopefully I will run into something that I would like to do.
Really?
Yes.
You don't know what you want to do?
I have no idea. No. I love traveling, though. I am really passionate about the world. I'm very passionate about meeting new people. I'm very passionate about languages and cultures and so on, so I would like to continue with something like
So
this.
as you're going 6 months on a tour, how many different families do you end up staying with?
About
Lots.
18,
Yeah.
yes, between 20 to 18.
That's a
different
lot of
families.
thank you notes you got to write after you're
Yes.
done, huh? You know?
A lot of thank you notes. You get
Yeah.
a lot of new family members.
Yeah. Did it ever go bust, like living with a family? It's like, oh, I can't believe it. If I have to spend another night with these people, I'm going to go crazy.
Actually,
Yes? No?
not. I would see it as a learning experience because what's so cool when you stay with different families is that sometimes you come in a family that is very similar to you. Sometimes you have a family that is completely different.
Right.
Yes, I've had so many different experiences through traveling with this, and it's amazing.
Well, you've grown your network,
Yes.
right, significantly. So you're just in this for 6 weeks. Have you traveled yet?
I've traveled to Germany, but not with Up With People. My parents live there.
All right. Your parents live in Germany. Okay. So was that part of your motivation to have kind of like a little international consistency in your life, or?
I was
Yes,
just
no?
really excited to do the volunteer work and combine that with the performing arts.
So what's your degree in?
My degree is in humanities, so German language and English poetry with a music minor.
All right, excellent. When we come back, we'll tell you what the show is going to be like a little bit, and check in with what it's like to be young and so positive. Stay with us.
Toss aside, we can move a nation. It's all contemplation. Maybe through demonstration, we'll be overtaking the world with our conversation. Hand in hand, we make moves that's going together. Pushing the boundaries with hearts that will live forever. This is not about you and your best friend. Open your eyes and you can see what we're living in.
I hate rap. I hate that. I hate that stuff. But I guess the message is okay.
Yeah.
You like rap?
I
You a
am-
rapper?
I am definitely not a rapper.
Yeah, I
No.
can't say you do. Are you a rapper?
I am not a rapper.
But I'm sure that the Up With People program will be all encompassing of all kinds of
A
music.
lot of different styles of music.
Young people like the rap thing. I never thought I'd be old enough to be able to say I don't like that music. Turn that stuff down. Talk to me about what it's like to be of this generation that is so tied in to gadgets, so tied in to social media, so tied into all that kind of stuff, to actually be performing live without the gadgets and all the stuff, and communicating and lifting people up by their presence and conversation and all that kind of thing.
It's actually very interesting that you mentioned that because our show is built around the irony of how technology becomes more and more a part of our world. Yes, it's called Voices, and it starts off actually with a lot of people walking around the auditorium and the stage with cell phones, and then we talk about.
See, I didn't know
there's a
that, but
message
there we
comes
go.
around. Yes, it's actually very interesting that you mentioned that. I personally think that. Electronics have been a big help with staying in contact with all my friends now all over the world, and has really been helpful. And I think doing something like this when you travel a lot, you really get to learn how to live without it. Because when we go outside of Sweden, I have nothing that can help me more than occasional Wi-Fi in different places. So
don't you think the art of conversation and communication is being lost in this generation, with not enough ability to look somebody square in the eye and say hello to them and ask them a question and tell them what they think?
Well, I think what's great is that by being in Up With People, every day is face-to-face communication. Every day is announcements about what we're going to be doing that day or what we need for the next day, and it's all face-to-face communication, which is awesome because it really creates those conversations, and it throws you into different cultures because we are from 15 different countries. So immediately you're already having conversations with people and sharing their culture and sharing your own culture, which is really cool.
So these cast members will be appearing in Cumberland on Friday night. Here's some information as to how you can get to the show. Actually, it's Friday and Saturday, Cumberland High School. Big, beautiful wellness center they have there, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of seating, and the tickets are only $20 a pop. I'm guessing you're going to get a production well past the value of that. And you wanted to say something about the producers of the show as well?
Yes, the reason we're here in Cumberland is because of Remax and the Kathy Bain Farrell team, and also for the Valley Breeze. So we'd like to say thank you.
That's
to
how you
those
got
for bringing
hooked
us
in
there.
here, by the way.
Yeah.
When Tom at the Valley Breeze asks, you know, can you get something going here? You know, I can hardly say no. I call them the Bible of Northern Rhode Island because they're so well read. But they are great community players, and I think it's important. You're also going to do a little thing on Saturday.
Yes.
Off the show, correct?
Yes, we are. So on Saturday we have a special opportunities for anybody who's interested in joining a future cast of Up With People who is between about 16 to 29 years old. They can come to a behind-the-scenes tour at the Cumberland High School at 1 p.m. on Saturday, and they get to see part of the rehearsal, do a dance warm-up, do a vocal warm-up.
Is this how you generally recruit, by
that as
creating
well.
these? Is this how you got hooked in, sort of?
No,
you told us already. You made the phone call and you did. Sorry. But this is another way to get it
This is
done.
another way. If you want to see more of a sneak peek of what you would experience as a cast member, this is a perfect opportunity. Or
So some young person shows up and all of a sudden they get all hooked in and they say to Mom and Dad, "Bye, I'm going home. I'll be gone for 6 months. I'll see you later." Well,
yes.
It's sort of actually, right?
Yes, kind of. You don't
How
have
many
to
people travel at the same time?
We are right now. We are about 100 of us from 15 different countries.
Wow.
So it's a lot of us, and every semester is another about 100 of us.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
Good
you
show.
very much.
Figure out what you want to do with your life, will you? For crying out
Yes,
loud, hurry up.
I will hurry up as much as I can. Then I will
time's
email
wasted.
you.
Congratulations, Edith.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck to you. All right, when we come back, your state of mind. Stay with us. How can you not be up after that? Friday, Saturday night, Cumberland High School. All right, your state of mind real quick. You get in touch with us with an email or a voicemail at that data right there. Here's a Facebook post, by the way, at Dan York Show. No less than 3 people told me yesterday, did you see Dan York's State of Mind? I think you have a hit on your hands. That's John on Facebook. That's actually John Laughlin, who was talking about the Republican debate that we had here at Block and Fung. Yeah, well, you know what? Crying out loud. Word is spreading, and it should. Thanks for watching. We appreciate that. And we'll see you on the radio tomorrow at noon and back here at 7:30 tomorrow night. Actually, we got football tomorrow night. We'll see you on Friday, okay? Bye.